Okay, here we go. Third walk around. You can see the you got the Chevy pickup door skin. We put that in there where it was all rotted out. Hasn't been really finished, but it's just starting to. At least it's got the shape. I got to finish welding underneath the rockers, but that's all in. This being the passenger door. There's, you see, same thing. I got the Jeep latch down there. The rods go down below and then back up, so the window, when the inner panel is in there that holds the windshield, I mean the window, that'll slide in between there, so that'll fit. That piece there, that's the top, that goes on the top here. That's just laying in there. You can see that's all welded in now, and the weather stripping is in. There's the Jeep door just sitting there. Got the drip rail. Drip rail is in. Just has to be seam sealed on the inside, and then that'll be actually done. Doors open and close. Trip over all the trash in the yard. The scrap steel. There's the one of the ha-ha headers, just something built up for ha-has. What else I'm doing is new is they're widening the windshield frame to match the body, because the body's wider. And there's a piece of masonite. The window channel was 5/16 wide. I couldn't find a piece of 5/16, so I glued together with some contact cement some 1/8 and 3/16 to fill the channel, to make a mock-up, so when I send it off to get a piece of glass made up, that's what I'll use. Another thing I made up, the headlights. You can see the headlight bar here. Well, what I did was I cut the rest of the bar is supposed to go out to like a fender for mount. And what I did was, right where just the other side of the cup that the headlight sits into, I cut it off, and that'll give you this part right here. This is the part usually bolts to the fender. So I drilled and tapped the frame, bolted this part to there, did the same thing on the other side, cut it off, put it down here, bolted in there, and it curves up. Then I centered the rest of the bar that holds the headlights, and that's kind of like what it looks like. That's those headlights that I made the adapters for. You can see the adapters here right there. That's stainless steel, the rings. That's what holds the seal beam in. And I got the 32 grill shell in there. That's just sitting there. That's not bolted in. I just wanted to see what it looked like. Oh, and I found this one day. I went to the dump to bring some trash, and I found that sitting there. And I said, huh, that looks like it would make a great front bumper for a hot rod. I found that about 15 years ago. It's amazing I still have it, or at least find it. But yeah, it's a solid, heavy piece. It's all chromed. It's got that V shape. And I says, you know what? I'm going to use that as a front bumper. So that's what we got. We got the passenger doors done. Well, I haven't put any weather stripping in the front here yet, but it's all the way around there. I gotta fill in this section here, so I don't want any rain going in there. I gotta make the new cowl piece for the top, but it's pretty much, it's still getting there, you know, more and more, little at a time. There's the ha-ha headers. It's gonna be sweet once it's all done up and painted. I was thinking, I wasn't quite sure of the paint scheme. You know, I really love how that black and red look. So originally that's why I did the block and the red. But the more I think of it, I've been putting this on YouTube as the FrankenStude. I think we'll use that apple green and we'll call it FrankenStude. We'll have maybe made on the back somewhere, or maybe down here a little letter somewhere. We'll put FrankenStude 2 in green. So we'll do it in like a semi-gloss black with that apple green. That would look kind of cool, you know. Maybe we'll do also a green radiator shell, green wheels. Just, I think that'd be different enough, attract a little attention. I mean, this is kind of like a traditional hot rod, fun rod. Some might call it even a rat rod, because there's not a lot of money sunk into it. I only got just under four grand into it now. But if I hook a battery up to it, and the wires that are up, the ignition wires and all that stuff are sitting on top of the motor, I haven't run them into the inside yet, but I could start it and drive it around the yard. But I'm kind of holding off on that, because once I do that, then I'll never fix it. I'll just start driving it the way it is. So this is the FrankenStude Rat Rod FrankenStude 2 Walkaround 3. That's what we got so far. It's really coming to shape.